absolutely insist that India stops using terrorism as sort of a toolkit of their policy, of their foreign policy, whether it's the context within Pakistan or what their government has been doing in Canada, in Australia, in the United States, where they finance criminal gangs to target Sikh activists. They're then victimized, subject to extortion, and assassinated. That's not just a Pakistani claim. Obviously, this activity takes place in our country, but the Canadian government has exactly the same stance. So India is increasingly using the cover and the legitimacy provided by the world under this so-called net security provider label to conduct act like a rogue state.
And I work as a political advisor on diplomatic affairs. So my question, I have two questions. One with the former foreign minister.
I think it's obvious that India has been saying no from day one. They said no to an investigation into an impartial international investigation into the terrorist attack that took place. They say no to mediation for President Trump, and they say no to dialogue with Pakistan. Well, you can't always have what you want. And India didn't, just as India had to accept the ceasefire as a result of intervention, we're looking to the international community to play their role, to encourage a dialogue, for us to achieve peace. We're under no delusions. It's not like sort of peace happens in a day. Or, this is a mission, an effort that we'll continue to advocate for because it's something we believe in passionately. We refuse to ban the 1.7 billion people of the subcontinent to perpetual war. We fought perpetual war generation after generation over Kashmir. More recently, we've been fighting over terrorism. Now, the Indian government would like to damn future generations to perpetual war over water. We advocate for peace for our own people and for the people of India. As far as the Indus Water Treaty is concerned, absolutely, I would strongly encourage the Pakistani government to challenge India's decisions at the appropriate forums. I'm sure we are doing that. As we speak, as you know, I'm abroad here speaking to you, so the details I can get back to you, but absolutely we have to challenge it within the legitimate forums, raise our voice internationally, and we expect from the international community to raise this issue across the board, no matter what their position on India, Pakistan, vis-a-vis terror, vis-a-vis Kashmir. This is a humanitarian issue. This is the question of the water supply for 240 million people. I'm sure that this is not a position that India will be able to sustain. They don't have the moral high ground. This is the lowest of the low ground. I'd like to see the Indian government try to perpetuate this position that we're going to shut off Pakistan's water supply in perpetuity. They're going to be unable to do so. If they continue to do so, then they'll lose this facade, and it is just a facade of a great superpower acting in a responsible way. The mask will come off of the Modi government in the way it's come off for the Muslims of India, in the way it's come off for the people of Pakistan eventually. If they're going to continue to insist on cutting off the water supply for 240 million people, then the international community will see I was going to say butcher trap, I suppose I'm not meant to. We'll see Mr. Modi for who he is.
From Azad New TV. Mr. Bilawal, my question is for you.
I think it's a question of not Pakistan not getting support for itself, but Pakistan getting support for peace. And I think that in that sense, absolutely, we'll get support for peace from the United States. We get support for peace from the UK as part of the peace process. As I've already explained, I believe that the Kashmir cause is fundamental, not only because it is the root cause and the leftover agenda of partition, but also because the actions of the Indian government in Indian-occupied Kashmir is providing the cannon fodder for terrorist attacks like the one that took place, and particularly since we're blamed for these terrorist attacks, we have an increased interest in them, including Kashmir on the agenda.
नाजरीन, लंदन में सिफारती वफ्द के सरबराह बिलावल भुट्टो जरदारी का थिंक टैंक इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ स्ट्रेटेजिक स्टडीज से खिताब। उन्होंने कहा कि भारत पानी को बतौर हथियार इस्तेमाल कर रहा है। मसाइल का हल जंग नहीं है, मुज़ाकरात हैं। पाकिस्तान तमाम तनाज़ात पर बातचीत के लिए तैयार है। और अब कुछ बात करेंगे मकबूजा कश्मीर की सूरत हाल की। कुल जमाती हुर्रियत कॉन्फ्रेंस ने कहा है कि दुनिया की